So you want to know how to build an Apollo web scraper with AI. Well, you've come to the right place. In this video, I'm going to show you my Apollo web scraper and then build it from scratch so you can learn the exact steps on how you can build a similar web scraper for your own project. This web scraper allows me to extract unlimited leads that I can then send out emails to, send a phone call to, or even message on LinkedIn. This web scraper has generated tons of great leads for my business, and honestly, I don't know if I'd be here without it. So first, let me show you how it works. So if we head on over to my VS Code here, you can see I have a very simple 180 step Python script that basically allows me to extract all the information I want off of the new version of Apollo. If we head on over to Apollo here, I have a couple email lists already built out. This one is just for real estate agents. So I basically just built this list by going on the left side here, and then I basically sorted through the kind of companies, the location, the amount of employees, and the industry that I want. You want to make this list that fits your particular business or whatever kind of target you're trying to reach the best. But one thing to keep in note though when you're making this is you really want to check this email status and make sure it's verified, because you don't really want to be saving leads that do not have an email, because we are going to be scraping their email off of Apollo, right? One of the main reasons why I'd want a web scraper over using something like one of the professional plans is because on the free plan you get unlimited email credits, which is huge, but you only get 128 export credits a year, which is like nothing. So you're going to want to upgrade to some of the better plans, and even then you only get 3,000 export credits a year, which comes out to about 300, less than that a month, which once again, if you're sending out a lot of emails, that's really not going to cut it. So basically, once I have this list, I come up here to the top, click on this URL, copy it, and then come on over to my web scraper and we'll paste in the URL here. And then when we're done, we'll just type in what we want. I'll say real estate professionals, and then we just click on the run button up here. And then without doing anything, it opens up Apollo. And if I make the screen here a little bit bigger, and then it goes through and then it captures all the information of everyone on my list, which is insane. And I'm literally not doing anything. It literally goes through, it opens up the button, it takes the email, puts it in a list, goes through each page. Because if you didn't know, on the Apollo's free plan, you can only select up to 25 contacts at one time, but you can make lists of like thousands of people, but you can't export those lists on the free plan. And it only really takes a couple of minutes. I found it's about 100 leads per minute, which honestly is more than enough for me. This just saves me the hassle of having to worry about paying the extra 80 bucks a month for leads when I can just build a tool like this in an hour and get it done for free. And there we go. It just finished. It says your leads are ready. And then if we head on over to the folder, we have a new Excel spreadsheet here with everyone's name, their position, their company, their email, if they have a secondary email, their LinkedIn, and then also their phone number. So we have all their information to contact with right here. And we can put this into our favorite CRM software or whatever and turn them into paying customers and new business. So if you guys like this demo here, stick around because I'm going to show you exactly how to build this web scraper from scratch. So let's get started. And honestly, at this point, I haven't even built the thing. What I do for these videos is I actually build the thing and then I showcase it and edit that into the beginning of the video. I actually had a similar web scraper built for this exact video I was planning on making, but after taking a look at Apollo's website, the way they show the contact information for each person has changed. So before, the emails used to be here, but now you have to click on a button and then you can copy the email from here, which is super annoying because I really wanted to just use that script and then showcase it in a video. But because they update it so much and always are constantly changing things, web scrapers for Apollo don't always work that well, which is why I'm showing you exactly how you can build one yourself. If you want to get your hands dirty and build your own like the one I'm doing here, you'll have a super valuable skill, and you can even transfer this to other platforms outside of Apollo. But let's just get started. So we're going to be using ChatGPT only to build this web scraper. And we're going to start by using, we'll say, can you make me a simple Python web scraper with Selenium to open Apollo IO? Make me the code. So what we're going to be basically using is Python and a package called Selenium, which allows us to automatically run instances of Google Chrome, and then we can automate that with Python, collect information, and then make our CSV files to where we can extract all our information and then send it off to wherever we want. First of all, if you don't have Python installed already, make sure to download Python 3.10.6. That's the version that everything AI based is running on nowadays. So just head on over to the Python website and make sure you have it installed. Also, I'm going to be using VS Code for this tutorial. So if you don't have have VS Code installed, make sure to install it. Also, you are going to want the Python extension, as it just helps run Python scripts in VS Code, so make sure you install that too. And then once we have Python installed and VS Code, we can copy this Selenium script here, and we'll just come into VS Code, make a new terminal, and we'll paste that bad boy in and just make sure we have Selenium installed. I already have it installed, so it all says required here. And then we can head on over to our next piece of code here. So this is our script that we'll be using, but we are also going to need this Chrome driver. So what we'll do is I'll copy this code here and I'll head back over to VS Code. I'll make a new one. I'll call it webscrape1.py. What we're basically going to be doing is making one giant Python file that opens up Apollo tab with our list of contacts and then goes through, scrapes the information, clicks the button, gets the email, and does that for every line until there is no more lines. And then hits the next button, waits, does that for everything until there is no more next buttons to click. What we need to do now is we're also going to need a Chrome driver. This primarily uses Chrome, so if you don't have Chrome already, make sure to install it. But we'll click on the Chrome driver here and it will take us to, of course, ChatGPT blows. If we just type in Chrome driver, we'll have web drivers for Chrome here. So we'll go to the Chrome for testing availability dashboard, and then we'll pick on the version of Chrome that we're using. If you don't know what version of Chrome you're using, you could type in Chrome://version, and then it will tell you what version of Chrome we're using. I'm on Brave right now, but it looks like we're using 120.069. This will be the same thing for Chrome though. The one that I know that works for me is, I think, 120. To get your version of your Chrome driver, just head on over to the build that you want that matches your Chrome version. Click on stable. This is the one that I'm using. And then pick out the Chrome driver here that matches your platform. So I'm on Windows 64. I'll copy this link and then I will just paste this into a URL and then it will let me download it. I already have it downloaded, so I won't download it again. And then when you open it up inside your Chrome driver dash Windows 64, you're going to have a Chrome driver application in here and just drag this into the same folder that you're building the Python script in. This just makes it easy to manage. Like I have this example one here that I was going to show you guys, and I have my Chrome driver path set up to be chromedriver.exe, which I'm going to use for this example as it'll just make things a little bit easier. And then also for setting up our user directory. So this is basically what user it chooses to pick when it loads up the instance of Chrome. If this sounds confusing, just ask ChatGPT a couple questions to help you better explain it, because honestly, it'll make more sense if you just go through and ask the questions you need. Gist of it is basically this is the path on my local machine to where the instance of Chrome that I want to run is located. And then it's using this location of a driver to load my web scraper with that version of Chrome. So for the sake of time here, I'll copy this and I'll head back over to ChatGPT, and then I'll say, use this to boot up Chrome. And we'll see what I get. Because right now, by the looks of it, right, so it tells us there's no driver. So we do need to find our own driver. So that's what this is here. And we haven't told the code what to do yet. We'll head back over here, and now we have our information. So we'll take this and we'll head on over to VS Code, put that in there. And there we go. Look at that. So we have Apollo on our Chrome automated test software, and then it closes after 5 seconds. All right, sweet. We're getting places. We're getting places. So there's also this issue here. We'll copy this issue and we'll paste this into ChatGPT, and we will just let it do its thing. This is kind of something that I've found as a workaround to get this to work, especially when you're making these kinds of web scrapers in your local machine. You can actually input like your personal data ahead of time into the web scraper so it can log in also while it's doing the thing. But what we'll do instead is, if we head back here, we paste this in. Hopefully this should give us no errors. Yep, it just tells us we're on Apollo. If we remove this and we take this out, I'll comment this out and I'll run this again. And then if we, okay, I guess it just immediately stopped. We'll add some time in and then we'll try it again. If we log in with some test login information, okay, it already logged me in automatically. Interesting. Well, if you log in and now we're on this link here, if we X out of this and if we put in this link, so after we have our driver instance with our user directory here, this is just the settings that work for me. You'll have to play around with it to make sure it works for you. And we have our driver set up with our correct version of Chrome. We can input this link, and then if we open this, in theory, it should bring us right to our Apollo dashboard. And because I'm already logged in on the Chrome instance that we're using, it then takes us right to our page here. So now if I were to go to search lists, and then for this example, I have this example test real estate list of just 125 contacts, nothing crazy. We can take this URL here, copy this, and then when we click on this, we put our URL in there of the list that we want. And then we run this after, of course, we disable the last script and run it again. It'll take us right to the page. So now we're on the page, and now we have Selenium set up to scrape everything that we want from this page. And this is where things get a little interesting, but I'm gonna walk you through it here, and hopefully it all works out well. So what we'll do is we'll inspect the code, and this will take a little bit of CS knowledge to get working, but basically I've done a lot of looking, and I've realized that these are all broken down by T-body sections here. So there's 25 T-bodies for the 25 different people on our page here. So what I like to do is I'm gonna right click this, copy element. And what this will do is if we head back into VS Code, we make a new file and we'll name this sample.html, and we paste in all of the code that we got, just Control V, and then we'll right click and then we'll say format document. Now we have every piece of information from our contact all laid out. And this is where we can scrape to put into our lead sheet. And the issue that we have here that's a little tricky that we're gonna have to get around, and the reason why I'm making this new version is because, so we have things here like the name, obviously the name here, and then we have the person's LinkedIn, and then we have information like their company name, but then we have this button here that we also want to click before we get the information. So let's try this one more time, because right now if we Control F for an email, we're really trying to find emails, we don't have any information for the email. So what we want to do is let's come back to the web scraper. We'll run this one more time. It'll take us to our list again, and then we want to click on this button first. And then if we click on the button, or if we inspect the T variable and we click on the button, does this, if we copy this element, does this element now include the email once the button has been clicked? Format the document again. It looks like it has not. That's a bummer. That is a bummer indeed. So now let's see where we can find the email. That's creative. So the way they've got around email scrapers is they put it on a different section here. So you can see that this section is completely different from this section here. So when you click on it, it actually opens up a completely different part of the page. So we're gonna have to get around that one way or another. I'll just add some more time to this so we can poke around with the code. But this is what you have to do if you really wanna build web scrapers. Apollo is probably one of the hardest ones to do, and they've gotten around the email scrapers as of recently, which is super lame, but I guess that's their business, right? But who cares about their business? We want our own business. What we can do is we can have it click on the button, and then we can have it search the entire, like if I did Control A and clicked on app, there is only one email address at any point in time given on the page. We can even have it do all the emails. So like every time the information is captured, it clicks this button, checks the page for any emails. So it checks the entire page. Where is there a @ symbol? Find the email and then put that in the CSV. So for this example, what we'll do is we just want our script to then open this button. What we'll say is this, our script to click on the first button in the T body. So what we'll do is we'll take our code here. we'll head back over to ChatGPT and then we'll say, can you edit this so when the user gets to the page, it finds the first T-body on the page and then clicks on the first button inside the first T-body. So what this will hopefully do, find the first T-body element with the find element, then find the first button with inside of it, and then control click to simulate the click. So we'll try this out. So we'll copy the code, we'll head back over here, we'll paste in our code again, and we'll wait only 3 seconds. That should be more than enough. After we click, we will wait another 103 seconds. We'll restart our server here and then we'll play this again. So now we're on here. I don't know if it works. Let's try this again. We'll just ask console log the button click if it finds one. Let's paste that in there. Let's give this a run. We got you. What did it give us? Element not interactable. That's lame. Let's head back to our sample text. We'll just do this instead. So I guess it's not letting us click on the button. Oh, because you know what? I think it's clicking on a different button. I think if we head to Apollo, add some more time on this and try it again. I think what it's actually doing is it's clicking on a different button. So we need specifically the email button. The button that we're looking for is the one that's after the Rasu broker. So we want this to click on a different button actually. Yeah, we want this to click on that, the LinkedIn, this button on line 186. So we'll say button, we'll start up here. So we have one button tag, 2 button tags, 3 button tags. Okay, so then what we'll do is we'll say, can you make it click on the 3rd button tag? Because after combing through the sample HTML, we've identified that the T-body that we want to click is the 3rd button. We shall hit the web scraper, give this another go, and let's see what we get here. So if all goes well, element not interactable. That blows. You know what actually might be the issue? I think it's not the 3rd button. I think it's, if we keep going, contact, MIDI arrow. What does a MIDI arrow look like? Apollo carpet, icon small. Ah, so that, which is what we're looking for, because that is the same thing as one of those. Let's try this instead. Let's try, instead of 3, let's try 4. And we'll delete that. We'll give it another spin. Interesting. Let's try 5. One kind of quirk is you have to have a new instance of Chrome every time you run this. Okay, let's see. What we're trying to find, we'll copy the element of the button here, and we'll come back into here, and we'll say, can you click on this button element in the T-body? If we can get it to open up one time, we'll be golden. That's really all we need. The one thing that stops us from getting this to work is if we're not able to click on the button with Selenium, which very well could be a case. They pay engineers good money, so we can't click on this button. Okay, so we'll copy this over and we'll see. Let's just see if we can get the thing to click. Oh, it clicked. It was definitely clicked. Let's try this again. I'm gonna set this to 3 and then to 10. So we have some more time after the button is clicked. Oh, look at that. I didn't touch anything. So now what we can do is we now have this button clicked. So now we'll say, after you click the button, can you find the email on the entire web page and then put that into a CSV file, just the @ on the page, extract the email and put it into a CSV. So what hopefully this will do is what I explained earlier with how we're going to figure out how to get the emails, is that it will look for the entire web page and then it will find where the @ symbol is at on the web page, and then it will put that whatever regex expression of an email is inside of a CSV file for us to then use. So it builds out a function here for finding emails, and then hopefully what it will do is get the email for us. And then what we can do is we can have it iterate through each T-body. So you can say, do this for every T-body where you click on the button, inspect the page, find the email, put it into a CSV file, do that for every single T-body, and then finish. Once we get this working for everyone on the page, we'll then get it working for everyone on all the pages. So we can see here, if button is clicked and the button is found and it's opened, find the email address, save it to a CSV file as email. And so if we copy code, bing bada boom, so we have our new script here. Let's give this a shot, shall we? Let's see. So no hands. Button clicked. Email added to CSV. Look at that. We have our email. It also added this Sentry.io email, which is very suspicious. That is weird. Okay. What we'll do actually is let's pick a different email list to see if this works, to see if it gives the same one for every one of them. Because if it gives the same one, we can then filter it out. It's kind of my thought process with this. So we have a new list here that we're allowed to be part of. Opens, finds the email. Interesting. Okay. So let's say this. We'll come to ChatGPT again. This is the CSV. Can you make it never include any emails from Sentry.io? Just filter out those ones. I don't know where it's picking up that email, but it's an interesting one. That's why I think building these out yourself is really interesting and really useful, because I don't even know where that email is coming from, but I mean, shit, we'll just move on from there, right? While that's doing its thing, let's take a look at some of the sample HTML, and let's try to get a feel for what kinds of information that we're going to want to pull. So we're really going to need a couple things. First is the name of the person, which we can find as the first A in the T-body, and that will be consistent for every T-body. And then we can follow that up by the following href or the first LinkedIn contact. We can do some checks to make sure that it's giving us the correct LinkedIn contact at all time. For the sake of this tutorial, we'll just make it the first LinkedIn contact. I don't really use LinkedIn too much. We'll stop with that. And yeah, so we'll copy our new code from this. We'll delete this one to make sure things are working, and then we'll paste in our web scraper. Okay, so if we ran this, there we go. We have the extracted email from the page. I did not lift a finger on that one. Okay, let's keep going. So we have our web scraper. What we need to do is come back into here. We'll say, can you add the first A anchor text to a new column called name, extract the first A text from the body, and then put it in the row with the email, make it before the email. So it says it's looking for an anchor text. We're on a roll with this one. I'll tell you, the first one of course it's gonna break. I'll tell you, the first web scraper I built with ChatGPT took me like 4 hours to build, and I'm doing a tutorial and I'm only about 20 minutes in, and we've already got the email. And I thought it would be a lot harder because we had to click on the button, but honestly, I don't think the button is that big of a deal. If any Apollo devs are watching this, you hire me, dude. I will fix your problem, because right now I am busting your service like it's a girl at a honky tonk bar. All right, maybe that's a little too far. Yeah, okay, so we have our new script here. I'll copy this bad boy over and we'll slap a rune into you. So we'll paste this into here, and let's give this baby a try. Boots up, of course, specific button clicked, and there we go. Just like that. This is crazy. This is crazy. All right, so what we can do, we'll take this information. I apologize for this guy. I really can't blur it out, but anyone from Rasu Brokers is watching me, honestly, hire me, dude. I'm down to work in Europe and do real estate. So say, can you edit the input in the CSV file so it takes the name and splits it by the space and makes it a first and last name? And hopefully what this will do is exactly what I said. It'll split it and make two different columns for a first name and a last name. And if you've noticed in Apollo, not all of them have a first and last name. Some of them just have like a letter, which is fine. I don't really care about the letter. Honestly, if we're doing email marketing, we really only need the first name. I don't care if it's just a letter or anything. That'll be fine. Interesting. All right, so if button is found, it does everything. That's actually fine. That might actually be a good thing, because if, for instance, someone doesn't have a button, is it even worth clicking them, right? We'll slap this into the web scraper. Give this a good old shot again. Button clicked, email saved. First, last email. Boom. So if we were to go here, if I were to go into Excel, look at this, baby. We got the first name, we got the last name, and we got the email. Look at that. That's crazy. That is crazy. We've got the first name and the last name of T-body. So we're also going to want to extract. So if they do have a LinkedIn, include their LinkedIn as well. And we can do this a couple different ways. What we'll do is we'll just say, what's tough about LinkedIn is they don't have like a way, the URL is structured to differentiate between a LinkedIn URL and like a business page URL and like a regular profile URL. What we'll do is we'll just have the first URL. You know, if you want to not get the LinkedIn URL if it's not the correct person, that'll just require some additional logic. Like you can check to see if there's multiple. But for this instance, I don't really care. We'll just extract the first URL. So then we'll just say, can you find the first LinkedIn URL in the T-body and extract that and put it in the CSV as LinkedIn LinkedIn. So hopefully it'll do just that. And we're really on a roll here, guys. So we really just want that. We want the title of the person and the company name. And I think that's it. LinkedIn, title, company name. Because once we have the email, that's like really it. And it's just about doing it for everyone. Because we have the name, the email, and then we can also pimp the phone number too if they have one. And what's nice about this is it looks like we can find information about the phone number. I don't know why they're giving me so many phone numbers for this, which is pretty wild. We'll add it in there just because this particular list is using phone numbers. So it looks for a LinkedIn URL and spits it in the code as well. All right, yeah, let's just give this a good old shot, shall we? Open this up. What I do want to check too is if the button can't be clicked. This is key. So if this button can't be clicked, move on, which means there's no email to pick. So what we shall do is try this again because I messed up the code. Permission denied. Oh, duh. I have this open. Let's try this again. Specific button clicked. Email, LinkedIn, save. There we go. Look at that. First, last name, email, LinkedIn URL. If we click on it, we get the guy himself. Look at that. That is sick. I love this. Okay. First name, last name, email, LinkedIn URL. Also need this to pick up the this and this. So span. We're looking for a span text here. What's tough about this is because you can't say like the third span. Because if there is no LinkedIn URL, like if we were to do like a new file and did sample2.html, this person's information who doesn't have a LinkedIn profile, if we inspect on them, go to their T-body, we'll copy their element, head back over here, format the document. It gets the first href correct, but then the span here, yeah, see, it's a little different. It's a little different for all of them. So we gotta think of a more general style here. What we'll do is this. We'll just try this. We'll take this whole thing. We'll paste this into ChatGPT, and we'll say, this is the example T-body. Okay, we're just basically telling it, we're feeding in the T-body, and then we're saying, can you make it so it gets the position with a general case, and then puts it in a new column as job. So it's using this identifier, which I don't like, because I'm pretty sure these change from page to page. But we'll give it a shot. We'll see what happens. I mean, to be fair, it did work on both of the different lists. So maybe there's something to it. Okay, sick. So we'll take this. There we go. Let's give this a good old shot then. No way, it got it correctly. First, last name, job, email, LinkedIn. Okay, interesting. Let's try a different link. So if I had this one, so if I went to my lists and I picked out this list, and then if I plopped this back into here, and we run this, shit. All right, look at that. So we've got the job now. Or we'll do two more. We need the company name. So I've noticed that the only company name has this accounts text on it, which is huge. So we'll take this, then we'll come back to ChatGPT and we'll say, can you find the href with this accounts text in it? And then put the text in a new column as company name. So now we're also extracting the company name from the text as well. So we've got our new example here. Stick this bad boy in here. Clicked, scraped, saved. Look at that, baby. Look at that. Very nice. So now we have basically everything we need except for, last but not least. Great. So what we can do is this is the last anchor text. Okay, so we're just telling it to find the last anchor and then put that in a column next to email. So now it's going to extract the phone number and then put that in a new column. So then what we'll say is that there's 25 T-bodies on this web page. Do the exact same thing for every T-body on the page and put it in a giant list. And then we'll run it. And then if that works, we're golden. So we have our new code here. We'll delete you just to make sure. Give us another shot. Great. Come here. Look at that. Look at that, baby. Phone number. We got it all. We open this bad boy up in Excel. First name, last name, job, which is broken. It's just because of the characters. Company, email, LinkedIn, phone number. You're seeing this, right? You're seeing this. Ideally, you'd really want some way to come through and make sure this is correct. Preferably a manual person, but for the sake of this video, we'll just continue on. Now, for the fun one, we'll say, bit of a special needs wording on the prompt, but there are 25 T-body elements in the page. You can do this whole thing for each T-body on the page and make it into a sheet. Let's see what it does. The thing is with the free version is you can only show 25 contacts at a time. If we had a paid version, we could probably do more. You could probably have it extract even more data. There's probably gonna be like a hard stop for 25. Let's see. What if we just, oh my God, come on. Okay, so it's gonna loop through each T-body element and extract the information and then compile it into a CSV file. And that's exactly what we want to happen. Oh my God, so I have to say, you have to click the button when you get the email. We just want it to, okay, I don't know if it mentioned it. Yeah, it didn't do that. Yeah, we gotta have it. Okay, so now we got it to click the button before it extracts the email, which is key. So let's try this again. So we'll put this in here. It got rid of a lot of the comments, so it actually made the code shorter. We'll make this 1 to keep it quick, and then we'll turn this into 3 to make it run a little bit faster. And we'll delete the first example from Excel here. Okay, and now we run. Let's see. Did ChatGPT do us well? No, it did not. Okay, something's not working. Let's backtrack. We'll make a new one, we'll say. All right, let's try this one. I'm gonna redo the prompt again. Okay, we've got something new. Let's try this one out. It might be because the buttons are different, which is very, very possible. Oh, it didn't take the right link for Apollo. All right, let's try this out. So we got our new link here, our new one. Head on over here, wait 3 seconds. Okay, let's try this. So we have this error. I got this error. Say, why does this work? Oh, what I think is happening is it's trying to click on that, but it's not. That's funny. That is funny. Okay, let's do a little bit of tweaking here. Let's come on here. Let's paste that back in. And then so if button click, sleep, find the email, if email, filter the email. And then we just do button click. I know how to code. No, we just click the button again. Let's give it a shot. Let's see. Oh. Oh no. Oh. Rick B. Why was Rick B counted twice? We just have to put the button click there. We'll delete this one more time and let's try this again. So no hands, you know the rules. I have multiple Chrome instances running. You gotta make sure you have none running, at least for my version of this. It's gotta be on a fresh Chrome tab all the time. So now if it just doesn't find it, we can't see it. Okay, so we'll copy this. I'm gonna head back over here. If it can't find the button, can it just skip over and... Okay, so we're basically telling it if it doesn't find the button, skip over it and continue on with the code. What I'd like it to do instead is only if the button is clicked, then do everything, but whatever, it'll still work. Because what I don't want to happen is to add leads to my list without any emails. It's like the whole point is getting the email. All right, let's give us another shot, shall we? Okay, let's see, do we get to scrape email service from internet people? Boom, da boom, da boom, da boom. So that's an issue too. You can see if there's multiple emails, it creates multiple instances. That's what's happening. Interesting. Let's continue on. Let's try this again to see if we can figure out what's happening here. So I want to test if I were to carefully scroll. Kind of have to help it out a little bit, but look at that. We got all our leads. That's crazy. That is crazy. Actually, I'm going to take our web scraper. I'm going to do a couple things. We're going to make a couple edits before I go to dinner. You make it always scroll down when a new T-body is found. It's like a poem. Oh my God. Okay. Let's try this out. So we've got our new one. Okay. This is going to be completely no hands. No hands. Yeah, it doesn't scroll. This is lame. So we want it to scroll in what container? Fuck, this is gonna take forever. I hate this. So now we're trying to look for the data-cy-loaded attribute on the web page and scroll by that instead. Try this again. Come on, scroll. Oh, it scrolled too early. Scrolled too early. I think we're onto something. Look at that. Look at that one, baby. That's crazy. That is crazy. Look at that. That's incredible. Look at that. Look at that. Whew. Give a like on this video. That's incredible. This is probably gonna be a super long video, but I'm gonna copy all of this and then we're gonna head back to ChatGPT and we're gonna do one more thing. We'll say, okay, so then we're just gonna edit this. So can you make it so it picks up more than one email? Instead of making a new row with the secondary email, instead of making a new row with the contact, it makes another column called secondary email and puts that email in a new column. If there's more than 2 emails, then just remove the other emails. We'll update the filter emails to only 2, handle 1 or 2 emails. Okay, so just leaving a spot for another email. Just say rewrite the entire thing with the changes and should be good to go. Honestly, probably would have been faster if I just copied the text and tried putting it in myself, but oh well, whatever. Copy this bad boy, throw this back into here, and let's give this another rip. Let's see. Will it give us everything we need? Look at that. Look at that. That is incredible. We've got a thick lead sheet here of everyone's name, their company, email, the secondary email, the LinkedIn, and the phone numbers. Now we're just gonna get it working for each page. Part 2. So now that we have our entire list of leads here, what we need to do now is after this is done, okay, we'll copy this all again. Come back over to ChatGPT. There is no more T bodies. Left click on this button and then wait 10 seconds. So we're saying after there's no more T bodies left, click this button, which is this button down here in the corner. We're just selecting this button and making it click that one. Oh wow, it even did the pagintation. All right, well, so now it even knows that if there is more pages, keep doing it. So let's tell it to rewrite the entire script with the changes, and hopefully what that will do is set it up in a way that it just runs automatically. Sick. Let's try this one out then. So we've got a new example here with hopefully what is pagintation. Let's give this another shot, shall we? Oh, and it keeps going. Yes, sir. Oh man, this is glorious. This is glorious. All right, let's take this. We'll put this back into ChatGPT. And then we'll either say, so then we'll tell it if you get this error, say your leads are ready and close the window. And this will help just finish it off. And then what I also want to do to edit this a little bit is we should print instead of this has been poached. There we go. So now I've got a little bit of exception as E. There we go. And if we peep the lead sheet, we've got 123 leads with the 3 that got skipped. Beautiful. Beautiful. All right, let's try this one more time. So the final test, got a little timer right here. Let's see what we get. Woo. So we're about a minute in. We've already got close to 100 leads. I would say it's about 100 leads a minute. I love this little thing down here. Person has been poached. Fortunately, with the way Apollo is set up nowadays, this is what we're gonna have to be doing. But hey, I mean, dude, this is better than nothing. The real test is at the very end. Does this work? Your leads are ready. Look at that. Then let's take this one last time. Say, can you edit the scripts at the very beginning has a variable where the user can edit the name of the CSV file. Change the name, change the link for the list, and then click go. And then wait a minute or 2. So that took less than 2 minutes, like a minute and a half. Come on, dude, what's happening? And then this gets swapped out for this. There we are. So now, and then we've just got a timer in there. There we go. So now we have our final script here. Only 108 lines of code. So now let's try this out. So if I go to my lists and I have this other list here of medical admins. Just another similar list. A lot of people with no contacts, so this will be interesting to see what happens. Let's plop this bad boy in there, and then I'll also change this to medical. And now let's give this a shot, shall we? So it goes to the correct window, and it starts pillaging. Ho ho ho, let's go. Ooh, the argument of non-type is not iterable. Let's ask ChatGPT, where would I get this error? Come on, bro. Let's try this one more time. But instead, what we'll do is I'll expand the page a little bit. I think that might be if it's on the same person again. That was interesting. Cindy. What is happening after Sydney? Huh? What? What if we just removed this person from the list? This is so bizarre. Sure. Let's just give this a shot then. So now with the new edited list, I don't know why that one person was acting this mess up. Let's give this another shot. I don't know what was wrong with that one. That was super bizarre. It got the rest of the leads correct. That is crazy. Yeah, it got the rest of everyone else correct though. Let's try it with a new list. Let's see if it works or not. So I have this small business owners list here. Let's just see if this one also works. Small business owners. Give us another shot here. It's making a new CSV file with all of the information. Yeah, this is why when I mentioned to make your list and make sure they have the verified email, this is why. It just makes things so much easier. When you don't have a verified email, it's just like, why are you even contacting them? Unless you want like LinkedIn leads. Oh, there's like 600 people in this list. Holy shit. But honestly, let's just see what it does. Let's just see what it does as it continues on here. But yeah, I think what's really sweet about this is you can throw these lists together in about, I don't know, 5 or 10 minutes. And then, turn the web scraper on and you just have an exported list in about another 5 to 10 minutes tops. I mean, this has 600 people. It will probably be done in a few minutes. But while you're doing this, you can, go on your phone, answer emails, scroll on TikTok, do literally anything else. I mean, my email is basically dead, so I guess I have nothing but to do to look at this and make sure it works correctly. And it's pretty sweet though. The thing I like about this method is that it's foolproof. There's nothing Apollo can't do to get around this, right? Like I can always come in and make a new web scraper for every time they change it. Like they just added the feature with the button where you have to click it to see the email. And like, I mean, it only took me an hour to get past that. And it's cranking. I will say the one where the email was displayed automatically in the line, like where the phone number is now, it was just like that. Like this list would be done by now. It would literally capture the entire lead sheet in like seconds. If we go over here, like, yeah, you can see it's coming in, dude. They're coming in. But the thing is too, is you can't really touch this. I wouldn't play around with the computer too much until it's done. I think what I'm gonna do from here is I'm gonna let this run. We'll come back. We'll check to see if it's working, and I'll do some touching up, and that'll probably wrap up the video, and then we'll go from there. That's interesting. I've never seen this where it ends on 4 that I can't click on and doesn't know what to do. That's weird. All right, but we'll call it there. 560 some odd leads poached from Apollo, and it can definitely do more than that. That's what we're gonna leave it at. So I think I'm gonna do some edits to this. So maybe the one that I post on this video will be a little bit different, but this is basically it. This is exactly how I built them in the past. This is exactly how I'll continue to build them, and it works. That is that. Look at that. If you guys enjoyed watching me make this web scraper, make sure to leave a fat like down below. It really does help out my channel. Also, if you want me to work with you to help you build a web scraper or some other kind of AI or automation tool or solution, make sure to book a call with me down in the description below. I'll have a link for that. Also, there'll be links to where you can download this exact Python file and get it set up for yourself down in the description below. That's gonna do it for me in this one. I'll see you all in the next one.